Have you guys ever thought about how your entrepreneurship or your music or your window tinting kind of affects you guys' relationships with family and friends?
Yes and no. I mean, my music doesn't necessarily affect my relationship with my family members. Of course, I have a couple of family members that, don't prefer that style of music because it's very explicit and abrasive, but I don't really get any backlash from it, so to speak. And really with the friends, I don't get any backlash either. I think what it is with friends is that it goes back to the support. And not to say that my friends don't want to support. I just think they don't know how to support. They don't understand certain things like I do. Like when you make a post on social media, they don't understand the algorithms of liking and making a comment and sharing it within a certain period of time, which tells Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, social media platform you're using that, the more comments and likes that it's getting, it's telling those platforms this is a post of value. So because they know me and they're used to it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, Marcel's got a new song. I'll check it later. You know what I'm saying? So that's their support because they know that they're going to listen to it and maybe share it, a day or two later or whatever the case may be, or even not share it at all, just listen and, because they have a direct line to you, they'll call you on the phone or send you a text message and say, yo, that video was dope. And that's great. I'm glad they like it, but them telling me that the song was dope doesn't help me to grow. And I think that number one, because they are my friends, and number two, because of where I come from, with the small town mentality, everything's a lot slower. There's not a sense of urgency. So they don't really understand like I understand that, when I put this out, I need you sharing it. I need you to, it's cool that you like it, but if you like it that much, send it to 3 or 4 people.
Like it the same month.
If you're my boy, when you go to the job, I'm gonna need you to hype it up. You don't even have to say that, my boy did this. It's kind of like my brother says it. He's like, man, when I go to work, I don't even tell him that you're my brother or I know you. It's just like, yo, this dude from North Carolina, he's dope, yo. You know what I'm saying? He just did this video. You need to check this out. Or if he's got somebody in the car, he's got this little playlist of like mainstream artists, but he'll slip my song in and just play it like it's normal, and then somebody will be like, well, what's that? Oh, this is, this cat Celis that I've been following here. This is, his YouTube or whatever, so it hits you subliminally. But if people feel like, they know you, it's almost like they're looking for a reason to hate. It's like, oh, of course you're gonna say this, dope. That's your homie, which is, like I said, which is why it probably goes back to Jeremy saying that a lot of times I'm too humble, because, granted, do I feel like I'm the best in my area? Yes. But do I go on social media and throw different temper tantrums and claim to be the best and who want this smoke and all that? Nah, because I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Part of hip hop is thinking that you are the best.
Right. And
not just hip hop.
I like my music to speak for itself. I'll talk all that rah-rah stuff in the music, but as far as, getting into it, because I think what happened was Jeremy had been seeing who's the best in the city posts. And he's showing me, and then he's like, you see this? Did you see this, Cell? Who's the best? And they're naming people and blah, 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 blah. And then, I guess it throws him off because I'm casually like, okay, whatever, It doesn't hurt my ego. I think my self-esteem is so high that, if somebody else feels like that somebody else is the best, they can feel that way, because number one, half the time those people are really just riding for someone they know personally, because it gets to a place where it's not even about the music. they buy into who that person is,
Yeah.
especially with music the way it is now. So it's like, you don't know me, you haven't heard my music, so why would you think I'm the best?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't trip.
How do you think it affects your relationships?
Oh boy, man. There's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't see. As far as I think it heavily affects my relationships in ways that it would any entrepreneur. Like, I stay so consumed that I can be talking to somebody and not hear a word they say because I'm so consumed with trying to keep up with everything. And that's kind of the dark side of entrepreneurship. I mean, you have to play so many different roles in order to make everything come full circle. You know, entrepreneurship to a lot of people is doing something and making money. It's not the marketing, it's not talking to customers, it's not becoming a salesman, it's not ordering supplies, it's not picking up and dropping off
Like I said,
cars.
it's all that stuff that's around.
It's so many different things that people don't see. And like, I don't get invited to birthday parties. I don't get invited to weddings. I don't get invited to family cookouts. Like, they tell me that they're going on so that I can show up if I choose to. But I pretty much tell people, like, just let me know what's going on, but don't invite me because I'm gonna feel bad when I don't show up. Because like, I go after it all the time, dude. And, you know, again, like this past week, you know, I want to be fully transparent just for any entrepreneurs watching the video. You know, I worked 10 hours the first 3 days. I worked 17 hours the Thursday. I worked another 14 hours on Friday. And I might have seen my daughter 2 hours. And not just my daughter, like my girlfriend, pretty much, she spends time with me because she helps me do what I do. But as far as like, you know, like personal time, dude, I'm at it all the time because I have so many different roles to play. And, you know, my mom, she just recently got married and she moved from her house with her new husband. And she's just like, don't forget, you know, we still live in Person County because I stay so consumed, man. And a lot of people call me and they're just like, yo, I'm sorry to bother you. Or I know you're busy, you know. So as far as like my personal relationships and how it affects it, I mean, it puts a dent in it, you know, to where it creates this stigma that you never have free time. But it's
Now,
one of those.
Is that something hard to deal with, or did you already say in your mind that for a certain period of time that you'll have to make certain sacrifices, whether it be, you know, because you basically named the three most important women in your life, you know, your significant other, the one that, you know, brought you into the world, and your baby girl. So how do you, you know, justify what you're doing in the end game to ultimately be in a position where they're good and you can actually put yourself in a position of, you know, spending more time with them?
Right. So you always you have to believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel, because if you don't and you just think you're just going to grind yourself until the day you die, there would be no real motivation to get up and do it all the time. You know, so I mean, being willing to make those sacrifices right now, whereas it doesn't feel the best, you know, I have to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's entrepreneurship has this crazy misconception that if you work for yourself, you're free. Nobody on Instagram or Facebook is talking about the grind time to get to where they can post the glorious picture of doing X, Y, Z, to where it looks like they're just balling out of control. You know what I mean?
And I know what you're probably feeling, because I think even though we're in different sectors, what we could probably relate to is that, you know, you might be doing something of leisure, and not to say that you can't really enjoy yourself, but it's like you're out there and it's like, you know I'm supposed to be having a good time, but I haven't reached or gotten something done that I'm looking to get done when I could have used this time to do it.
Oh yeah. You know? I always feel like I have to earn my days off. So like, the only reason I took a portion of Sunday off was because I had really hammered it all week long. And I'm like, I earned this. And like, after we finish shooting this, I probably ain't gonna do much because I feel like I earned it,
Right.
you know? But until I feel like I've grinded myself into a fine mist, you know, it sometimes it does suck. But at the same time, you know, I'm determined I'm not gonna be the one out here being like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Look at this, you know, I'm living the life, you know. Everybody around me is living the life. Nah, dude, I want people to know what's real and what it takes because I didn't know. And, you know, sometimes if you knew what things really cost, would you actually drive, you know what I'm saying? Like if you knew that you were gonna have to sacrifice every weekend, sacrifice your mentality, sacrifice your workout. You know, I've had to switch my workouts up to where I don't get in the gym as much anymore. But if you knew what a goal really cost, I highly doubt the majority of people would actually go after them.
But on the other hand, what positives would you say comes with being an entrepreneur to if someone's willing to put in that sacrifice?
Oh, dude, it's plenty of positives. Although I just made it sound like there are a lot of negatives, there are just as many positives. Like I can take my daughter to school every day if I choose to. You know, I don't have to ask anybody, you know, hey, my daughter's got an appointment. Like we need to go here. Or, you know, my family's going to the lake or something. Like if I don't want to go to work and I want to go to the lake, ultimately that's totally up to me. Which is dope. You know,
I guess your boss can't fire you.
You know what I'm saying? Like having that, not necessarily exercising that control all the time, but just knowing that you have that control, it makes it worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas I just said I work pretty much every weekend, I don't have to. And in the back of my mind, I know that, which is what makes it easier for me to do it. Because when I was having to work Thanksgiving, when I was having to work weekends, when I was having to put in long hours, it was miserable because I had to be there or else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's consequences. You're on somebody else's time to, you know, get money, but outside of the money, does it put you in a position to, you know, to grow? And it just depends on what your overall goal is. Some people's mentality, and a lot, like I said, it's a lot where you're from, you know, and even people that I grew up with or people that are significantly older than me, they're kind of afraid of the entrepreneurial lifestyle, only because it's like they've been trained and raised to, okay, you grow up, you graduate, you work a job for 30 to 40 years, and you retire.
Yeah.
You know, so they're conditioned to have someone else give them a paycheck for a service they provide. But I've always had a hard time really doing that. So it's like I try to pick up little nuances of what I can do as an entrepreneur to make money, especially outside of the music while I'm growing that, you know. So whether it be like merch, because I definitely have merch. I have this shirt I typically don't wear myself. Trust me, I'm not that vain. But, you know, I got a Celis shirt and other stuff through my e-commerce. I got a net gator. So, you know, just whether it be that or really investments. A lot of people, and I think there's a stigma of like rappers. Like I think on top of me being, you know, the rapper, really I like to see myself as a business. I like to treat myself as a business. So whether that be the music aspect, the merchandising, and really me getting into investments, you know. So I've been doing that lately as well. That's has nothing to do with music. So
turning into a serial entrepreneur.
Well, you know,
you never want to make money from one stream.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
You gotta be strategic.
Because you know, when one thing goes down, you have 3 or 4 things that keep you up.
No doubt.
You know.
Somebody said as long as you're owed money, you're never broke. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, my father told me that. I said, well, go on and pay me my money then.
Let me go and get that back then.
You know.
No doubt.